All right, welcome everybody. I have with me a colleague of mine who I have always wanted to interview. Welcome, Mr. Paul Gonzales. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, yeah, glad to be here. Good to talk to you. It's
All
been
right.
so long.
Yeah. Well, that's no joke. Paul and I go way, way back. And then, when I kind of fell off the scene and I kind of went away because of life in general, Paul continued on and I have come across him numerous times in my travels in the last few years since I retired. And I wanted to kind of catch up with Paul, and I thought this was a good opportunity. So welcome, Paul. Thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate that. So
yeah, great to be here.
Let's get right into this. So I know you're from Albuquerque, and
Right.
I know you graduated from Del Norte High School. What year did you graduate?
81. I think that's the same year you graduated, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, I graduated 81 from Cibola. So you graduated 81 from Del Norte. So that puts us right about the same age.
And
Okay.
I have a question for you. Did you do a summer camp at UNM, kind of a jazz camp kind of thing during maybe junior, senior year?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, that's where I first met you. Yeah.
Yes. This is really scary.
And
I figured we were right about the same age, and I figured we were right about because I remember we came across each other a couple of times in AllState Band too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I made AllState Band in my junior and my senior year, and you made AllState Band what, your junior and senior year also?
Yeah, junior, senior year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we probably crossed paths then too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you graduated 81 and then you went to UNM for one semester.
One semester, yeah.
Right. And then you dropped out and you joined the Army. But you were part of the Army band program. Tell me more about that. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, the reason I dropped out of UNM after one semester is because I went through a bad embouchure change. And after being a high note guy and whatever, I couldn't play anymore. So after that first semester, I just dropped out and kind of quit playing. And every couple of months, I'd pick up the horn and say, "Oh man, this sucks." And I did that a few times. And then I heard about a Army band audition. I did it, and I was totally surprised that I made it. I passed the audition, and so went in the Army in September of '82. And did basic training, all that stuff, and then School of Music in Norfolk, Virginia.
Right.
That last 6 months, and then you go to your permanent station. And so I went to Fort Devens, Massachusetts, and that was I like that place a lot. The area being near Boston, not too far from New York City.
Right. So it's about an hour west of Boston, right?
Yeah, even half an hour or so.
Really?
It's about 35 miles west of Boston.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll take it you studied, you did just about everything when you were there, right? You were in which bands?
Well, I did, of course, all the usual marching band, all the usual concert band stuff. But what was cool about it is the Army Band of New England, or they called it the Show Band of New England, travel all over upstate New York and New England. So I got to do a lot of traveling and play the jazz chair, the improvising trumpet. So that was some good experience and a lot of fun.
So did you spend any time when you were there? Did you get to go? Well, it's close enough to New York. What, hour and a half from New York?
From New York is about 3 hours.
Oh, wow, that's a lot further than I expected.
Yeah.
So did you get to? So I'll take it you got to go visit the Boston scene.
Yeah, I was there every chance I got. I was always there.
What about did you get a chance to go to New York? Did you get a chance to go to do any of those areas out there too?
Yeah, there's a friend of mine that used to play in New York a lot. He was actually in the Army band when I got there, and he kind of saved my chops. I took lessons with him, Rich Ryerson, his sister's Allie Ryerson. Their father played with Charlie Parker and Louis Armstrong. Oh. He just saved my life, and he took me around New York to, hear him play at clubs like Eddie Condon's and, places like that. So it was nice to have him, just take me to New York.
I bet that was a lot of fun, and I bet you learned a lot.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long were you in the Army?
Just 3 years.
Okay. And what made you not be? I mean, why did you stop? It sounded like you were having a great time and the experience, and I mean, Army benefits and everything else. Why'd you stop?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's my personality. There was Sergeant First Class, who was leading the show band of New England. He told me I was a career type. And so when he told me that, I made up my mind, I'm getting out no matter what.
No.
Which was, a stupid reason, but yeah, so I got out, as soon as my enlistment was up.
Oh no.
Yeah, somebody told me something like that. You're the career type. Okay, I'm out of here. Yeah.
So once you got out of the Army, where did you go? Did you come back to Albuquerque, or did you go someplace else before getting back here?
Well, I went back to Albuquerque. I got a dishwashing job in a psychiatric hospital, and I started taking classes at TVI just to get my brain going, and then I started trying to get in the fire department, taking those tests, trying to get in the academy.
So now you were with AFD, Albuquerque Fire Department, for people who don't know who that is, but
yeah,
you were with AFD for what, 25 years before you
20
retired?
years.
20.
20 years, a little less than that, because I had some vacation and sick leave saved up. So
yes.
so as soon as I was able to retire, I left, and
When
so I
was
could
that?
play all I could. That was 2004.
Wow, holy mackerel. So you've been retired almost 20 years.
Yeah, retired 2004, July 3rd. I remember that.
Holy mackerel. So you've been retired, it's 18 years now?
Yeah,
That's,
time flies.
well, 17. All right, we'll say 17 and a half.
It's all a blur, yeah.
Yeah. So after you retired and you came back to Albuquerque, and now you went into AFD, and I know you were playing during all that time. I mean, I know you were playing and being, being an air traffic controller who, I was working full time and trying to play full time, and realized that was just a mistake. I couldn't do it. I don't know how you balanced all of that. That was pretty impressive, because even when we did, we did a couple of gigs. We were just talking about it before we started recording back in, what'd you say, 98?
Yeah,
we did a trumpet summit thing for the Jazz Workshop with Chuck Coulter. It was three trumpet players, and we did with a rhythm section that neither one of us can remember who played. I'm sure someone's going to watch this and say, "Oh, I can tell you who it was."
Yeah.
I hope somebody will tell us.
Somebody's going to be mad at me for not remembering.
That's okay. I get people mad at me all the time for not remembering it. I'm doing my best, but there's a lot of things I don't remember. So you have played in so many bands. Oh my goodness. There was, I remember Tetragon God, that was a smoking band. Holy crap. You guys even played up at Telluride, right? Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
When was that? What year did you guys play up at Telluride?
I think it was around early 2000s, something like that. We started the band in 1991, and we played I don't know, 20 years or something, and we still do a lot of quintet things together and small groups, but the band Tetragon just kind of fizzled out after 20, 25 years.
Yeah, well, after 25 years it fizzled. Okay, a fizzling is more like 1 or 2 years. 25 years, that's a long time to be playing together.
I guess so.
That was, like I said, I remember that band, and I remember coming to see you guys a couple of times and just thinking, oh my God. Because you guys everything gelled with that group. It was amazing to listen to. Now, you play, you are the first call trumpet player when it comes to improvisational here in town for a lot of bands. now you're in AJO and you're sitting in second chair, which is the solo chair, which Kent Erickson recently vacated. You were recruited to play in that. You play in Entourage Jazz, which is a great group. You play Som Como Son, right? Do you still play in Som Como Son?
Yeah, about 27 years, except for the last about 2 years when I haven't been able to play lead stuff for the last few years, but
Right.
hopefully I'll be getting back to that.
Right. Yeah. No, we'll get to that in a little bit. What other bands do you play with? I mean, like I said, I've seen your Facebook posts. You do a lot of work. I remember when you used to play with Arlen Asher and you used to do the Arlen Asher thing. I mean, who else are you playing with now?
Well, currently, Doug Lawrence Quintet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's played with Count Basie Orchestra about 25 years. We just recently did, just a couple of weeks ago, a concert at the Outpost. And so, I work with that. And another group that him and Jackie Zamora, vocalist, and me kind of put together, New Mexico Jazz Latino Orchestra.
Oh, really?
And every Saturday do a concert with a guest artist at National Hispanic Cultural Center.
Okay.
And sometimes bring in, well, there's always a guest artist from wherever. Had people from Peru, from New York, and whatever.
So what you said, that's every Saturday at the Hispanic Cultural Center. What time is that?
Oh, no, not Saturday, but every January. Did I say Saturday?
Oh, you said Saturday. I was like, I'm coming. I'll be there tomorrow.
I wish it was every Saturday. Yeah, every January. Yeah.
Oh, every January. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you make sure that you promote the heck out of that because January is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I want to come and visit. And so what is that? Is that a week-long thing or is that or a month-long? What is that?
Oh, it's a couple of rehearsals and then the gig on either a Friday or Saturday.
Okay. And
bringing in a great Cuban vocalist, Yenny Valdez, who sang with legendary bands in Cuba. And so she's coming in.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you if that was a woman or a man because I don't know the name. I don't, I'd like to say I know more Latin, but I don't. I don't know that scene, and I know you do, but I don't know that scene very well. So it's kind of one of those, okay, I don't know that name, but okay, good. I'll look forward to that, and I'll look on your Facebook page and look for when that's going to be promoted. So what other, let's see, you have something coming up in December, right? December 6th, I think it is? What's that?
I'm doing something with Emerson and Entourage Jazz. Okay. I play with them when they add a trumpet. Sometimes they have a big band, but Lee Taylor is usually their horn player, and so whenever they add horns, and they call me. And
well, I saw you guys when you did the jazz workshop at the museum gig.
Oh yeah.
That one was because it was the AJO, and then you followed it with Entourage Jazz. And it was a great gig. That was a great concert. I compliment you guys. You guys really sound, and you complimented the vocalist very, very well.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
Good, cool. So what else, Lee? What else? So now you play. I mean, you literally play everything. You play jazz. You play blues. You play Latin. You play big band. Is there anything that you prefer not to play?
Well, not really. It kind of depends on if the gig itself, like the venue, is a pain to load into or the travel is ridiculous or whatever. But yeah, usually there's really not too much I'll say no to. I mean,
well, that's awesome because you're a very versatile trumpet player and you're a great improvisationalist. I think it's awesome to listen to you guys, especially when you're in that big band setting. I love it. I just absolutely love it because you complement the AJO, and in Entourage Jazz, when they throw the solos back toward you, it's amazing. It sounds great, and you can tell that you've studied and you've taken the time to study improvisation. Too many trumpet players out there think that they can just get away with, and and I used to be one of those, you know, get away with just playing whatever. And it's like, no, you actually have to read the chords. You actually have to understand what's going on. And, you know, since I've kind of come back since I retired, you know, I'm starting to work with some more improvisation things. And I'm like, wait, I forgot everything. Okay, I can still play a blues, but no, don't ask me to play some of these other ones that just cruise. It's like, wait, okay, I don't know these chord changes anymore. I have to go back and study these. So,
yeah, especially in a big band. Yeah, in a big band where you have to read and you have all these other people playing parts. I mean, you don't want to sound like a train wreck or a
no, I remember what it was like right before I retired in 2019. Henry Estrada convinced me to come back and play with the New Mexico Jazz Workshop Big Band. And, you know, he's like, I really need someone a strong player. And I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the guy you want, but I'll try it. And that's where I met Bill Biffle and all those other guys. And they threw a couple of solos in front of me, and I'm like, I don't remember. Wait, I got to go home. I had to go home. Went home the very next day, and I'm putting all those chord things in Band in a Box. And I'm like, okay, I got to play these chords so I can hear them.
Yeah, it's easy to lose it over time if you don't.
If you don't listen to it. I mean, you know, before I kind of walked away from all of this, I had my own group and I was playing all the time and I was listening and I could hear chord changes, and I can't do that. I have to go back. I've been working with a lot of chord changes now. We're working on my solos, so hopefully I'll have an opportunity to showcase and play. But anyway, we're here about you, not me. So you were, okay, going back to the subject. So you were a regular DJ for KUNM, which is 89.9 FM here in Albuquerque. You were a regular DJ for their afternoon lunch for what, 13 years?
13 years.
That was a lot. I mean, I remember listening to your show. I used to always tune it in. Was it, okay.
Oh, really?
Was it Tuesdays?
It was Mondays.
Mondays. Okay. I listened to it every day, but I don't remember which day you had. So you were Mondays. So you're no longer doing that. How come?
No, there's a lot of things I had to give up when, right before I was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer. I had to give up the radio show, and I taught classes at the Outpost Performance Space, and I stopped giving private lessons at home. I mean, because everything had to stop, and you know, start doing treatment kind of stuff. So that's pretty much when that ended. But that was a great 13 years. It was a lot of fun. Got to interview a lot of greats and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sorry you're not doing that, but I get it. I understand why, and we're going to get there. So, which brings us, thank you for the segue, which brings us to, you are a cancer survivor. So, which is awesome, but I know it caused you some problems. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, in some ways it was kind of good as far as being a musician, because all my life I gotta get better. I'm not good enough. And after that happened, and you have to take long breaks away from the horn, then you come back, you finally get in the mindset, I'll just do what I can do. And so in a lot of ways, I think my improvisation might be better because I just let it flow out and I don't worry about trying to be so good or whatever. You just, you know, whatever music is in there, just let it come out rather than trying to, you know,
force it.
Better to try to touch people's emotions than try to impress with chops or whatever. I know.
So you were diagnosed with, you mentioned it earlier, bone marrow cancer. When did that happen?
Yeah, that was May of 2018.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I was trying to play. my trumpet playing had been going downhill for 2 years, and my back was killing me, and it turned out I was playing with broken ribs and broken spine, and I was just taking Advil and drinking a lot just so I could make the gig. And so by the
So you went through, obviously you went through cancer treatments, and that
Yeah.
took what, how long? You said, I think you told me once it was a year, right?
Well, I did 6 months of chemo and I did 10 sessions of radiation on my spine. And it was eating, the myeloma eats right through the bone, kind of leaves it like Swiss cheese and leaves you with
Mhm.
fractures. And then I did a stem cell transplant and all that. I mean, that was like over 2 months in the hospital in Phoenix. And so, yeah, there was a lot of time where I wasn't playing. So there was 2 times in that where I had to make comebacks. I mean, after that, those treatments, that was one comeback after not really touching the horn, not playing a gig for a year. And then I practiced for a year, started playing again, and then had blood clots in the lungs and little dead tissue spots in the lungs. And so I had to stop again. And so now this is my second comeback from that stuff.
I I'm going to introduce you to some. It's Bill Nevitt, and most people don't know who Bill Nevitt is. I've been waiting to do a special on him. He's long since dead, but Bill was such a great trumpet player, and he wrote a number of books, and I'm going to send you a couple because that's what I used when I didn't play for 15 years, and I've been using Bill's books to kind of get back into it. I'll send you a couple of Bill's books, and I'm sure they'll help you.
Okay.
They're good. They're great. They're great books to help build strength. Bill Nevitt's books are underutilized in my opinion, and I'll send you a couple and you can use them. They're one of those you daily practice type things,
Yeah.
but oh my goodness, it'll make all the difference in the world for right here. All the difference in the world. I can't help you with your lugs. That's something that's something you have to deal with. So now you're in remission then? Is that true? Is that correct?
Yeah, I monitor the cancer cells. They're there. It's hard to totally get rid of them. So we monitor, and if they start spiking up, then have to do some more. But I just pretty much monitor with bone marrow biopsies and blood tests, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Going back to Mayo and Phoenix in about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
That kind of thing.
So that's you're going to be gone for how long? How long is that going to take you?
I'll be there a week.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you luck with that. My wife, by the way, my wife just sent me a text and she says, I'm supposed to tell you that when it comes to your lungs and everything, yoga is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Vicky says yoga is worth dealing with when it comes to that. So yeah, I for your sake and for our sake as listeners and stuff, I hope that everything continues to stay in remission and that you're able to take all those cancer cells and push them away and keep them away because we want you. Yeah, we want you here. We want you still playing.
Appreciate the yoga advice too.
I'll tell her that.
Okay.
So I'm a gearhead. I always have been, and I'm curious. So what are you playing on? What's your trumpet? What do you play on nowadays? Mouthpiece, everything. Tell me.
Okay, well, right here on this desk, I have 40 mouthpieces, and I kind of have it narrowed down to my 4 favorite lead mouthpieces, my 4 favorite jazz mouthpieces, and stuff like that. But I guess if I have to narrow it down to one mouthpiece, I'm using for lead trumpet, a Monet Prana BL2S382 lightweight model.
So is that the one you play on, what, 80% of the time then? Is there another?
Yeah, I guess you'd say that. Lately I'm playing more jazz, but I'd say, yeah, 80-90% of my playing for the last 20 years has been like salsa stuff, Son Como Son, Calle 66, and that Latin Jazz Orchestra, and all that stuff. Yeah, all that lead stuff and high note solos and all that stuff. But yeah, I look on the Monet website, they don't have that listed anymore. They just have like a BL2, BL3. That's it. Not,
Really?
10 numbers that I just rattled off.
So what trumpet do you play on? What do you what horn are you playing on nowadays?
Well, my favorite one is Yamaha 6310Z. That's the original Bobby Shoe model.
I have one. So is that the horn you play mostly?
Yeah, that's I had one of those originals that I bought in '87. Then I sold it to a kid like an idiot, and the kid kind of destroyed the horn.
Oh
And
no.
and so, so I have some newer ones now, but yeah, that's my
Silver?
favorite.
Is it the silver or is it the gold lacquer?
No, it's the gold lacquer.
Nice.
I had an 8310 that I had on a trombone stand, and it tipped over and destroyed the valves and all that. And when I had it put back together, I had them silver plated just for grins, just to see how it would be. But yeah, I still like the old 6310Z lacquer.
Right. I really do. I like my 6310Z horn. I think it's the greatest horn for jazz. I have good range on it. It plays high, it plays low. It's got good tone through everything. So yes, I'm glad to see that you're playing a 6310Z horn. I don't know if you saw the interview with Brad, but he plays on the 8310Z horn, which is the newer version. And he says he likes it a lot too. So, and I go back and forth between that and the 6335 RC one, but which is besides the point. So good. I'm glad to hear that you're playing on that horn. So do you, where are you going here? What are you plans now besides the fact that you have to go out to Phoenix for some cancer treatments, or to at least cancer follow-up? So where are we going from here? What's your plans besides to continue playing?
Yeah, my goal has always been just to be a working musician, just a working trumpet player. And luckily, I've been playing with Doug Lawrence a lot, and that Latin Jazz Orchestra, and maybe getting back to Son Como Son soon, and playing with Calle 66. And just want to keep on doing that, just keep getting better. One thing, I stopped doing is teaching, but next year I'd like to get back into that, start doing some lessons. I used to do that here, and up at Northern New Mexico College, I did that. That'd be nice to get back in there and just whatever knowledge I have, just pass it along.
That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, so I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your energy. I wish you good health in the future.
Thank you too.
That. And again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. That's all the time we have for now. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope we gave you a little insight on one of our best trumpet players here in town, Mr. Paul Gonzales, and we will talk to you guys next week.